Hello everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm really excited to get into some new art supplies. I do not purchase new art supplies very often, just because, they can be kind of expensive and I don't always have it in the budget. But it was my birthday recently, and so I decided to go ahead and buy myself a little birthday present. And it finally arrived in the mail. So I figured we should just open it together and then we can try them out, do some swatching, and see how I like them. So I am excited because I'll show you what's in here, but there are a bunch of acrylic markers. So we have, ooh, 4 very big 15 millimeter nibbed acrylic markers. And I did a bunch of research online about what acrylic marker is the best, and everyone said something different. So I decided to just buy all different kinds so that I can try them out for myself. So hello, welcome. Because I follow some people that said Montana markers are the best. I saw some people say the Molotow markers are the best. And I've seen people using Liquitex and of course Posca. So I was like, okay. I'm not exactly sure what brand I'm gonna like the best, so I will just buy all 4 and then see which one turns out the best for me. So yes, I do have Molotow, Posca, Montana, and Liquitex. And I bought a whole bunch of different colors that I like and I think I will use. I'll say that Molotow is definitely the most expensive, at least for me. It was like $15, and the rest of these were close to 10. So that one's definitely the most expensive. Molotow and Montana are both refillable acrylic markers, and I don't know if that'll be a bonus or not. But Posca, of course, is super well known, but Posca in this big size, only has like a few color options, which is a bummer. And I wanted to try the big, thick ones because I want to be able to do more mixed media drawing and painting. And I don't know, I can't always like take the time to get all of my paints out and to paint with just my like getting all my paints out and my palette out and the brushes and everything. Like, I don't always have time for all of that. And so I wanted to be able to buy some fun color that I can just, take the cap off, paint, and then put it away quick. So like I could just take this out for like, 5 minutes and then put it away. Whereas when I have my paints out, it's like I have to sit down and paint for the next 3 hours because I just took all of the work to get my paints out. So that was kind of my motivation as well to buy acrylic. But yeah, so I went to a whole bunch of kind of fun, lighter colors and things. But I also have another little goodie. More acrylic markers. Because I wanted to try using these for line art. I do a lot of like ink and other markers, but I wanted to try doing this as my line work and for other, you know, other things. And so I wanted to try these out as well and do the smaller nib size and things. So that's all of the fun stuff I've got going on here today. And these actually, I'm probably going to wait to open and kind of explore those, but I wanted to really try these out because I've never tried Posca before, and I'm really hoping that I like them. I just see a lot of people using them and it turns out really nicely. So we'll see if we can activate these and give them a try. All I know is you gotta shake it a lot. I just love being able to something that's more ease of use. And then we'll pump it a little bit. To get that paint out. Oh, it's starting to come out. Of course, that's white. So I think what I'm gonna do, actually do this, and I want to kind of experiment with these a little bit. That does feel nice and smooth. And of course it does pill the paper a little bit. That's okay. That's looking good. Just gonna go down the line here and activate all of these. And of course you can use Posca on so many different things, not just paper, but I am hoping to just mainly use it on paper. Ooh, that's so nice. Wow. I'm already super excited because the color is so smooth. Wow, that is such a bright color. I hope that comes across for you. But that is just such a satisfying color, and it's so easy. Coach Gant, hello, welcome. Yeah, this is like, it's so much easier than getting out all of your paints. And it's such a nice color. I know a lot of people have already discovered the wonders of Posca. And then I'm really late on the train. I'm late to the party, but I'm glad to finally be part of the party. Because I do so much work with ink, I don't use a lot of color. I don't use a lot of colored inks even. And so this is going to be my fun way of using more color, hopefully. Oh yeah, this is looking so good. I don't know how to describe just how satisfying it is to put down a color like this that's so bright and juicy. If that makes sense. Wow, that's looking fun. I really, really like these bright colors, and I want to challenge myself to work with color more and to feel more confident working with color. And this is just such a fun, easy way to add some color here. You can see how it slowly is coming out. You'll have to let me know if you have used Posca before or any other acrylic marker. Right away, right out of the box here, I will say, like, it definitely looks very opaque and it covers well. We have 2 blues here, which will be nice. I know the sound of that marker shaking isn't the best, but that's how you gotta do it. Gotta shake it a little bit. Wow, and this even dries pretty quickly. It doesn't look like it's too wet anymore. Yeah, that is looking really nice. And I don't know how often I'll need to like pump the marker to get more of the paint out. That is just a yummy, yummy color. Which one is this? Just the blue. Just blue, just called blue. This is the light blue. Kay, hello, welcome. Everyone watch out, I'm gonna make the shaking noise. We're gonna activate all of these here and then kind of experiment. Already I'm really liking them, so excited to be able to start making some fun stuff with them. Blue is the only one that has kind of 2 shades in this general pack. So those are going to work well together and can kind of be shades for each other. Different shades, different shadows and things. But I don't know how many colors I'm gonna like layer and that sort of thing. Kayana, hello, welcome. Today we are opening up my Posca markers that I just got and activating them all and just gonna experiment with them. I've never used Posca before, and so I want to just kind of test them out and see how they work with other mediums and with some other paper, and just, you know, try to experiment because I've never used them before, but I'm really excited to because they seem like an easy way to add a lot of color. Oh, you've heard it's good too. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I see a lot of people using them, so I thought I should try it out. As I was saying before, I don't use a lot of color in my work most of the time, or if I do, it's because I get out all of my like paints. I'd say right now maybe my watercolors are the easiest to use, but I don't have a lot of markers that I'm really fond of, and so markers would be the easiest way to add color with how I draw. And I don't love having to get out a bunch of paint and sit down for like a long period of time with paint. I'd rather kind of quick jot something down when I draw. And so this way, hopefully I can add more color to my work in an easier way. And so far, I'm really liking how these come out. This looks like a little less opaque, but that's okay. What is the prettiest color? I think so far, at least, this pink just pops out so nicely. I think that one's my favorite so far. I mean, I really love blues as well. But that pink is really nice. I know, I would love to see a purple as well. I do not have any purple. That is kind of a bummer. I just kind of went with the general pack, but I know you can buy all these in tons of different colors individually or in different packs. I wanted to try several colors, so I bought a pack instead. And at least in this smaller size, you can get a lot of different colors. I've got this giant one here, this 15 milliliter, and the 15 milliliter. I keep saying milliliter. The 15 millimeter nib. And this one only comes in like 10 colors. But this smaller one comes in lots of different colors, and there's a lot more sizes than just this. I tap marker tip for 3 to 4 seconds instead tapping repeatedly. It's more fun. Oh, okay. We can try that. And welcome to the stream. So you tap it for 3 to 4 seconds. So just press it down for 3 to 4 seconds. We'll press it down a little bit. Oh, look at that. That worked. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. Ooh, this black is nice. And I know the whole point is for me to add more color to my work, but I just love a good black. I just love really high contrast, and so having black lines on white paper is so good to me. It just feels so right. Look at that. Oh. Wow. Well, those are the colors we have here. Let me know which color you like the best. I still am very fond of this pink. You can only kind of see the change of the white. I know you can use Posca on lots of different surfaces as well, so we could draw on something that isn't paper. Kind of tempted to do that. The pink is your favorite. I know. The pink is just so vibrant and lovely. I do really like that a lot. I've got some other materials here. I have some Copic. I never really know how to say this. Do you say Copic? Anyway, I just thought I'd also try kind of experimenting with different mediums. I never really got into these markers, these alcohol markers as much. I don't know. I know a lot of people are really good at like blending them and doing lots of other fun things with them, but I never really got the hang of it or was interested in that. And like, it's fine, of course, but there's something so much more juicy and wonderful about the Posca pens for me. So this is also just some ink wash, just some ink with some water in one of these brush pens. This is like my favorite drawing material, drawing supply ever. I also have some that I keep just water in so I can do watercolor painting on the go. But again, I love making my life easier. So having something like this, I can just pick up and grab and take a cap off the pen and just fill in some value is so nice. So I'm just kind of trying to give myself a bunch of different materials to draw over with the Posca so that I can see how it reacts with different materials. Your friends love them, yeah. They're very popular. I've just got a Sharpie here too. Just to, don't have a very thick Sharpie. This one looks like it's almost dying. Again, I'm just gonna like kind of draw over everything with the Posca and see how they react and if they kind of cover it up. You're an artist as well? Awesome. You have to let me know what all of you artists are working on or what you're drawing with. Have any of you used Posca markers before? Do you like them? So there's some Sharpie. Let's see, what else can we add to it? Ooh, that Sharpie is strong. That smelled very strong. You know, we could add a little bit of watercolor actually. Just being able to add some watercolor to test as well. We're gonna do this purple. And this is just to see how the markers react with other mediums once everything is dry. There we go. Again, I love a good water brush. You're not a big fan. You have Sharpie too, yeah. My Sharpie is running out of ink, but that is okay. I don't use Sharpie very much anymore. All right. So there are some different mediums there. Then I just need this all to dry a little bit, so I'm gonna give that some time and then doodle a little bit here on the other side while we're waiting. So let's see, I feel like the first thing I need to, not need to draw, but maybe I just pull up some of my references. I do love to draw some cherries, so let's try that. And also I'm excited to have some thicker nibs because my pen nibs are much smaller than this normally. And so I'm excited to have something that's a little bit bigger. I get a bit sick if I smell Sharpie. Me too. It does not smell very nice in my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of Sharpie smell, which is why it's so nice that there are so many other good markers to use that aren't Sharpie. It is definitely different to have something that is much more wet because this is paint. But it is just coming on so nice and smooth. I love that. Need more water paint. I do love watercolor, if that's what you're referencing. Some little cherries. Could draw some flowers. Or something similar. It is a bummer there's no orange in this box. I'm a big fan of using orange, so. How do you draw heads? We can do some drawing people in a minute. Can try drawing some flowers here. I do love that I can just kind of go over top other lines and it's totally fine. Look at that, that's nice. And there is a little bit of difference of how thick or thin these lines can be, so that is helpful. Karina, hello, welcome. We are playing with my new Posca pens. Markers, I should call them. Let me know if you all have used Posca before and if you enjoy them. This is my first time using Posca, and so far I am enjoying them a lot. I think I'll definitely be able to add a lot more color to my sketchbooks very easily. They're just so like bright in a good way. I love it. And I really hope that I can kind of get the hang of these a little more. Might just take some time. These are pretty darn fun though. Do love that. So we can draw some people here. Let me see what I've got. Let's pick a color I haven't really used much of. Maybe the green. And this is me just being very quick here and not thinking too hard. But just, you know, continuing to try out these markers, drawing different things and just seeing what I like. And I will say this doesn't look exactly like my reference, but that is okay. It is nice just to have a reference anyway, though. Ears over there. I do like it as line work. I love being coloring things in though and having this very just bright color. That is so much fun. So let me try doing that again. And I'm always nervous now that there is going to be something that I leave on the marker nib, like there's going to be some little bit of pilling or something. So let's try like just a generic bow or something and see how that does. Yeah, it's just very satisfying to be able to fill it all in so nicely. You like the flower? Thank you. I do like how that turned out, you know, just experimenting, trying some different things here. And I don't really mind that they're pilling on the paper. I know some people really don't like that. It does not bother me at all. Kind of have to let that dry a little bit. Wow, these are just so bright and wonderful. I love that so much. Wow, putting it back in here with this thing here is not helpful. I need to push this back through the other way. There we go. And it really doesn't take too long to dry. It's still a little wet, but in general, doesn't take too long. side is almost dry, and then I'm going to do a test and just do them all on top of each other to see how they do with that. That just looks so bright and so fun. Okay, so I just wanted to see how this works when you're putting lines like on top of each other like this. I do like that a lot. You have to wait for it to dry, but it's not as much wait time drying as like some paints, obviously. A lot of paints take a long time to dry. I think that does pretty well. And okay, so let me go back to this side, and then I'm gonna kind of do, oh, this watercolor isn't super dry, but that'll work. And so then I just kind of want to do a test where I am using all the colors on top of each other to kind of see how they react to each other. And to some of these other mediums. So and I'm not going to try to push that too hard. Just going to give it a few more strokes there just to see how it does. Looks like it did kind of pick up some color from maybe the watercolor. So maybe it doesn't work over the watercolor quite as easily. So that's something to think about. All right, let's try the yellow. I mean, my watercolor is dry there, so I think and the Posca too, it just like creates kind of like a, like there's there definitely is like a layer there like of the paint. So there's more resistance when you're putting another layer over top other Posca. And that too kind of picked up some pigment from, I think, the green. Or maybe it was also the watercolor, I don't know. But you know, you should be able to put Posca marker over top of other Posca marker. And I'm trying not to push down too hard to cause any picking up of other pigment. I don't know if you can see it very well, but definitely the darker colors don't come through the lighter. They do come through the lighter colors a little more. And you might all be Posca experts already, in which case I am just learning all the things that you already know. But it does look very cool to have all of these colors mixing and over top of each other. Giovanni, hello, welcome. We are trying out my new Posca markers today. Got some blue next. And see how this goes. It definitely feels smoother going over these other markers and these other inks. When you're putting Posca on top of Posca, there's definitely a lot of resistance there. But the color is popping up and looking good, so it is doing what it's supposed to do. Wow, that is so bright, and it's just so much brighter than any other colors I normally work with, but I do really like it. Okay, and I got one more marker. We got the black. Which of course the black goes over great on top of all the others. But I also want to try some of these other mediums on top of the Posca and see if that works. So I've got a Copic one. Giovanni ordered some Posca markers for the first time. Oh, yes, this is my first time too. So hopefully this kind of helps you see what you're getting yourself into. I hope you picked some fun colors. And I'm really excited to test these out a little even more and see how I like them for different things. So, and I want to test them with other mediums too. So we're just going to try with this Copic marker and see if that goes over. Ooh, that is very strange. Ooh, I don't think it liked that very much. Interesting. You can definitely still see through it. I mean, this might not be the most ink in there, but that's an idea. The colors are so vibrant and pigmented. It truly, they are. They're so, so bright. And I love that. I do use microns a lot. I don't know if I would use them with these, but we'll just put down a line and just test it and see. I mean, I know this is a very thin one, but even this thin marker goes over it pretty well. So that's good. Micron for the win. Another question I had was colored pencils. I don't know if you can mix Posca and colored pencil or not. And I don't have like the best colored pencils, but we can try. So let's try, I've got a dark blue. I actually think I like that quite a bit. Obviously it's not going to show up in the darker colors, but it does go over top the Posca really easily and smoothly. And these aren't even that crazy of colored pencils. These aren't like super fancy. So I think colored pencils over top of Posca will work great. Let me try a lighter color. Let me try an orange. See how that looks. Yeah, I'm a fan of the colored pencil over top the Posca for sure. It turns out pretty nicely, and it doesn't feel too rough or like you can't do it. So I really like that discovery there. And I just really don't have a lot of colored items, a lot of colored supplies. And that's why I bought the Posca. So the way it glides over, I know it's so good. So definitely try that when you get yours. But let me try this marker. I know we already tried a Copic marker, but this one has more ink in it. Wow, that is just so interesting. The white and yellow and pink, like these are all showing through the Copic marker besides the black. I mean, the black, like you can't penetrate the black. But I don't know if I think it's bad, actually. I think it looks kind of cool with it slightly coming up. So that's something to think about, because I kind of like that. Obviously, if you want it to completely cover the other color, you should just use another Posca. But I really like how that looks. Obviously, I know that it's not going to cover, but let me try some of my ink wash as well, just to see what that looks like. Trying to find other things I want to try with it. I could put a bit of watercolor, but I don't think so. So there we have the ink wash as well. I mean, in all, if I was going to just look at the Posca colors, like obviously the yellow has a pretty hard time over top of the other colors. I don't know how well you can see it, but the yellow has a bit of a struggle. The white sometimes, and the pink, but I think all the other colors do a pretty good job. Like obviously I think that's just because these are lighter colors, and you could probably make it look even better if you did another layer of that marker. But even from far away, it looks pretty good. It's just when you are up really close, you can kind of tell that some of them don't work together. So that's interesting. But I hope I've encouraged people to try it. You know what I'm gonna do next? Let's try a few other different types of paper. Because this is I don't even know, I covered it up. I don't know what kind of paper this is. It's like a multimedia or a watercolor paper. No, it's not quite a watercolor. It's probably multimedia, mixed media. Ooh, this is another thing. The Posca doesn't really come through on the other side like the Copic marker does. So that's interesting to note. I mean, what is this? Yeah, that's Copic too. So the Copic marker bleeds through the page and the Posca does not. Keep that in mind. That's pretty cool. And then let's try a different color, different paper here. Let's see. This is a much thinner paper, so I'm going to try that and see how that works. Just because I use a lot of different types of paper. I always have one sketchbook that's like very thick watercolor paper, and then I'll usually have one that's thinner like this. I really should be going a bit more like that. And this is just the fastest sketch I am gonna do. Just to try other papers. Honestly, this paper is not pilling as much as this thicker paper. So that is another thing to note. Obviously, a thinner paper can't handle as much, but, and let's see if it bleeds through the other side. It's still not bleeding through to the other side, so that's good. Even with a very thin paper, it is not going over to the other side. And that makes me really excited because I, of course, don't like it when things bleed through. And I just like having a thicker line. It's just kind of nice. Let's really fill this in and see if it goes through. Not really. I don't know if you can see it. Here. So from this side, you can't see it bleed through at all. It really just stays kind of on top of the paper. That is amazing. And it's so easy to fill in because the nib is fairly thick. This is like the medium size nib, like the 2.5 or something. It's kind of the standard starting size. Definitely got to be careful though, because I already smudged a little bit right there because it is wet, so got to be careful on that end. Okay. Just gonna try adding some more detail with this yellow. Do really love how that you can just go over top of another color so easily. You can kind of see some color came through there. So I'm gonna have to get that other color off. The roof of this is like a blue. See, now I'm just having fun with it. Definitely. It's just enjoyable to be able to put color like this on here. I don't know, I'm feeling pretty darn good about that. About this marker, like it does not bleed to the other side. You cannot see it go through. This is very thin paper. I think it definitely shines when it's all colored in like that. or like these cherries. Like it just looks so nice when it's all filled in a big block of color like that. But I am just so excited to keep using these and keep trying these. I kind of want to do one more. So let me see here. wow, that just, it's so much fun. It's so much fun to be able to put big blocks of colors on here. This does not have a backstory. This is just some random doodles and drawings from reference so that I can test out these new Posca markers. And so I think that we have thoroughly tested them out. They do take a little bit of time to dry, but not as much as like normal paint would take to dry. And of course, what I love is it's so easy to just use them and then put them away, and I don't need to get out all of my paints and take all of the time. And I could like sit here and like do a little bit of drawing and then put it away after 5 minutes. Like, you clearly do not need to spend as much time and effort as it normally would take if you were going to get out all of your paints. So all in all, I am a huge fan. I'm really, really excited about these. If you want to see I'm going to test out all of these different acrylic paint markers, then make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to have a new video about that soon. I've got Liquitex and Montana and Posca and Molotow all in the 55mm nib size, so that I can compare them all and see which one I like best. Because I have not used any of these except for now the Posca. It's in the smaller size, and so I'll be doing that very soon. But all in all, I think we tested these out pretty well. Wasn't expecting the others. Yes, there's definitely a lot here. Did quite a bit of experimentation and doodling today, and I really just love how the Posca can layer over each other and look very vibrant and very good. I think its best feature is really just like the pops of full color like this. So I'm excited to experiment with that more. I do like the liner as well. And again, it's not really bleeding over to the other side. Obviously, this is a little warped from how much I put on there, but the color does not bleed through. Underrated. Wow, thank you. And so I'm really excited. The pilling of the paper doesn't bother me, and I just can't wait to use these more. So thank you everybody for joining me. I hope you had a good time hanging out and testing out these new markers. I will have a new video on Thursdays, and I'll be back to doing weekly live streams, hopefully weekly. Don't always know when I'm going to be live, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. But thank you all so much, and have a lovely rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you later, and happy drawing!